Okay, welcome back to Kanga Academic Tutos. As the name goes, my name was Kanga this month, and I'm now in level 400 geomatical engineering. Today, by some requests, I want us to learn something small about Matlab GUI, that is graphic user interface. How we're able to generate a simple graphic user interface. Okay, so if you launch your Matlab like this, now we want to use the graphic user interface. The Matlab is a very big software of which it contains a lot of codes that are used to do a lot of things. So today we're going to look at the GUI aspect. So before you open to the GUI panel of the Matlab, what you have to do is that there are many versions of the Matlab. So if you're having, let's say, below 15 or 2016, 2015 downwards, before you open the Matlab, you have to type. So in the command menu, you have to type what guide. Then press enter and it will appear. But for me, I'm using 2021. So what I will use is the new GUI for the Matlab is called App Designer. So I'll type App Designer. When I press enter, now the panel will open for the GUI. So this is the interface for designing the GUI for Matlab. Yeah. So App Designer. So now, because it is a fresh thing or a new thing we're going to do, there are many things you can use the Matlab to do. So we can use for simulation, correlation, predictions, and many other. But it's the basic thing you're going to start. So for now, what we'll do is that we're going to use a blank app. So just go to the blank app, then just type on that place. So you see the panel there. You'll see the panel like this there. So you'll be able to control the panel of which you can put your buttons there. So this is the panel. So I can control it and move it or orient it in the way I want it. So now let me take you through what you're going to do, or the small app you're going to develop. Okay, so let's see this small equation, this small linear equation. So these are my parameters. I'm having, this is the equation. You're going to predict the northings using the latitudes and the longitudes. So let's say I don't have, or I don't know my northings. I want to know my northings. I don't know my eastings. I want to know them, but I'm having the latitude and longitude. I want to predict them. So you're going to use the parameters to do that. And before that, you have to get some co-parameters which will help you to get your northings and eastings. So now we are going to use these parameters. C1 is what? This value. M1 is this value. C2 is this value, and M2 is this value. Now you can see this equation. When you want to predict the northings, it is what? The M2 times latitude, then plus the C2. Then when you want to predict the eastings, it is M1 times longitude plus C1. So this is what you're going to do. So after you have opened your App Designer, okay, so this is my App Designer. Now you're going to take a text field, or where we put or we enter in our longitude and latitude. So in the panel here, you see a tab called common. So there are some common buttons here you can use. There are several of them. If there's time, you can go through them, but if there's no time, I think we catch up with it later. So we're going to deal with numbers or numerical values. So the type of text field you're going to use is the edit text field. So you can just click on it, then drag it onto the panel. So this is the panel. After that, you can move it in the direction you want. So this is the text panel, or where we want to input our longitude and latitude. So let's see, this first panel will put in our latitude. So you can see here, edit field. So just double click it, then we type in latitude. So we are designing the view, or we are designing how we want the app to appear. Then we go to the same panel and pick another text field or edit field, then move it to the length we want and name it, let's say, longitude. Okay, so these are our text field. Now after getting our text field, what we want to do is that you're going to get a button, of which if you click on that button, it will use the latitude and the longitude values to predict our northern and easterns. So let's put a button at the middle here. So let's say this is our button. Then let's name the button predict. Okay, you can change the text size and everything from this panel. You can see it's the normal panel, like the you can see you can bold it, you can change the size to any size you want. You can change the font size. There are many fonts size here, you can change it. You can do many things with this one. So yeah, that's it. So we want to do it in such a way that if you click on this button, it will take the values at the latitude and the longitude and use it to predict our northerns and easterns. So let's add another text field for the northerns and the easterns. So you still go to, you have to be careful with this one, the text for the edit field. We have two edit fields here. We're having the text one and the numeric one. So you have to choose the one with what? The numeric in bracket. You can see there's one here having the numeric in bracket. And there's one here also having the text in bracket. So you have to identify them. So we are going to use the numeric ones. So just drag and drop on the surface. Then we put, so this one is, let's say, easterns. Then the next one is northerns. So let's name it northerns. Okay, so this is our simple preview or the app interface you're going to use. So let's run it and see something if it will work. It's not going to predict anything because I've not written any code for it. So let's run it and see. So first of all, I have to save your app. So let's say the scale app. Let me save it on my desktop. Okay, then we see this is my app. My app is appearing here. So you can see when you hover on the button, it's showing that you can click on the button. But when I click, nothing is showing because I have not written any command for the button to compute. Okay, so let's close it. Now you're going to write a command for this predict button to be able to use it to compute. So what you do is that just right click on the button, go to callbacks or hover on a callback, and you shift at the right hand side, you see add button push F function callback. Just click on it and it will take you to the code area. The Matlab is designed in such a way that whenever you put the test button there to create the algorithm for you, so all the algorithms will be generated for you. So you can see all the algorithms being generated for you. So what you will need is what you're going to use to do your prediction, or what you want that button to do. What you want that button to do. Okay, so now we say we want the buttons to take. We want the button to take the latitude and the longitude and use it to predict the eastings and northings. So you can see at my app layout that there's latitude here, longitude here, predict here, eastings, northings. And this one, as soon as you put them there, the Matlab by default creates their names of which you can use to do your coding. So when I click on this one, if you check at this side, you can see the scale app. Then we have app user interface figures. So you can see all the figures or all the tabs on my user interface are here. Yeah, so I'm going to use these ones. So now let me assign the latitude to that button. So what I'll do is that let's start coding. Now let's take it serious at this place. So I'm going to assign the latitude to that button. I'm going to assign it to that button. You have to assign a name to that button. So what I'll do is that I'll say my first tab is for the latitude. So I'll type the latitude. So LTITUD equals to this tab. So the first tab is the latitude, and the name of. So when I click on this one, you will see it is selected here by default. As before selected here that this is the name of that tab. So what we do is that you can just copy the name here, or when you start typing, have to copy there or have to code the exact name at this place. So just start typing app dot. So when you type dot, it will bring in all the names of the tabs I've added. But note, we are having the label name and the test or the field name. So have to this one have to choose the field name, because the numbers will be placed in the field area. So have to go through and search for latitude edit field. So you can see latitude edit field, then numeric. So select that one. So after that, then you see this one is going to take in values. So you end by adding dots. Then after pressing the dot, you see there's value. So choose value. Then with Matlab, have to end with semicolon. The latitude here is underlined because don't worry about it. It's not an error. It's not an error. It's because you have not used this assigned value or this value. That's why it is underlined yellow. So you can proceed and do your work. Okay. So let's assign the longitude to. So for the longitude, just type longitude equals to. So the same thing, app dot, then we go through and look for longitude at edit field, numeric field. Okay, then dot value. Okay, now I've assigned my latitude and longitude to those tabs, you can click it and it will just select it here for you. So this is the name. This is the name. Okay, so now how to assign my parameters I'm going to use. Now I'm going to use M1, C1, M2, C2. So let's start with the C1 or M1. So M1. So my M1 equals 2. Now I have to go and copy the text or the value there. So let me go to Word. So you can see. Okay, sorry. Okay, let me do it this way. So this is what M1. So I'll just copy my M1 values. Then come to this place. Come to my Matlab back. App Designer. Okay. So this is my M1. I'll just paste my M1. Okay, I think I have to type it manually. Okay. Okay, sorry. So I think I have to type this manually, so and push this one here. So my M1 is 110.325.282287. Let me go to my C1. So C1 equals to 1499298.876. Then let me add my M2. M2 equals to 110.325.282287. You can also use your parameters you have to do your computation. I'm just using the values I'm having here. So it is 1894.84921. Okay, so these are my parameters I'll be using for my coding. So these are the parameters. Okay, so now I'm having my parameters here with me. So now you're going to predict the notings. Note that whatever we are coding at the bottom's place. We are coding everything at the bottom's coding place. Okay, so we want it to be in a such a way that if we click on the button will compute everything here. Yeah, it will compute everything here and send it back. So that's why we have assigned everything. So what you have done is that you're saying that latitude equals to app.latitude field. So the latitude field is this area. So whatever you put at this area, it will be known or it will be transferred at this place. You see, it will be stored at this latitude value. If you enter a value here at the longitude, it will be stored at the longitude side here, so we can use for our code. Okay, so you're going to predict the notings. Now I hope you remember the formula. So the formula says that the notings is equals to M2 So now we have defined our M2. You see, I've defined our M2. So just type M. We see the name is being stored already there. So it has been underlined yellow because I have not used it. So as we are using it in this equation, you will see that the yellow is not there again. You can see it has highlighted, meaning that the yellow is not there again. It has been used at this place. So times the latitude, and this is what our latitude, the one we will enter in this what text box. So latitude is yellow, so if we select it, it's gone now. Then plus C2, then plus C2, plus C2. Okay, then let's predict that of the instance. So instance is the same thing, M1. So M1 longitude plus C1, then end with semicolon. And end it with semicolon. Now the nothings are also having yellow backgrounds because they have not been used, they have not been assigned to anything. So what we do, they're going to make use of the word and registering the instance. Now we want the values, you see, so after the calculation is done, the answer will be stored in this what nothings. Here too, the answer we will get will be stored in this what instance. To be stored in this what instance. So what we have to do is that we have to assign the answers stored here into this what field. So you're going to store, or you're going to produce the answer here in this what instance. So as I've selected the instance, you can see that the name of that what test field has been selected here. So what we will do is that you're going to call the name of the instance. We just type everything there. So app dot, then look for the instance numeric edit field. So choose that one. Then this one is receiving a value. It's receiving a value. The first one we are going to enter a value, so you have to add dot value. But this one is receiving a value, so you have to what add the what dot value to it before you equate it to that particular answer you want it to appear in that what test field. So we want the instance to appear in that instance field. So we type in what instance. So you can see the name is here. Then we end with what semicolon. What is complete. Then let's move on to the next one. So app, as for the nothings, numeric field, then dot value equals to the nothings. Okay, so it's a simple code. We are done with it now. That's a simple code. We are done with it now. Now let's run our app. So this is our app. So what we do is that we enter in our code here, our numbers here, our latitude here. I'm just entering anything. I'm not having the latitude here, so I'm just entering anything here to anything. Then when I press predict, you see that's use everything to predict my result for me. Now I'm good to go. I'm good to go. So you can save it. So anytime you come here, you can just, it will be shown. So this is our simple calculation we have done using Matlab GUI. Thank you very much for watching Kanka Academic Tutors. Please try and like, subscribe, and comment. Yeah, please just tell me something. Tell you guys something. Thank you very much. God bless you for watching.